We've been watching recently. AI is a huge focus in the economy right now. Major companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, and Meta have all said they are putting billions into data center projects. Their stock price is through the roof, and according to CNBC numbers, there are more than 1,300 AI startups valued at more than $100 million, Gromer.
Wow.
This comes as data centers powering AI build out throughout North Texas. The state lists nearly 220 data center projects here. But could this all lead to an AI bubble, like some critics fear? We spoke with Venki Shankar, an AI expert at the Cox School at SMU.
So every technological revolution is accompanied by some bubble of sorts. The question is, how we treat them and how we react to them as individual citizens, as shareholders, as employees, as customers. All of these things would make a difference in terms of how the bubble will turn out to be. So, in a nutshell, it is bubble, but we won't know when the bubble is going to pop and how much is the correction going to be. But AI itself is here for real, and it's continued to chug along.
You talk about the dot-com bubble that did kill a lot of companies, but Apple, Google, some of the everyday names, they still survived that bubble. So for a company to survive, if this becomes a bubble and there is a correction, what do companies need to make sure they're doing to survive for the long haul?
This is different in the sense the biggest investors in this AI revolution are the big tech companies, the Mag 7, and they are very cash rich. They have a very healthy balance sheets, and they are propping up a lot of these. And also, this is also accompanied by the race between US and China for being superior in AI and in the future in technology. So there is quite an amount of differences in here. So there are good reasons to expect this bubble not to be like the dot-com bubble where a lot of people perish and only the ones that survive. So what should companies be looking out for to make sure that they survive? First and foremost, they have to create value for customers. And I think one of the biggest lessons in dot-com bubble was many of the businesses were started, no value was created for customers.
When we've been covering this topic, there's been a lot of talk about energy and how much energy these data centers and AI processors use. If we don't continue to have available energy, could that spark a downturn? Or a bubble pop, so to speak?
Very important question. Energy and water are key elements of infrastructure for AI and data center build out over the period of time. So consequently, there's a high amount of uncertainty about energy availability and also a high amount of risk about how to finance some of these build outs. Right now, as you can see, many of even the big Mag 7 companies are looking to debt financing, and sometimes these debts are massive to finance. And also the energy policy and energy capacity, how we finance and how do we roll it out in the future is going to be a big question mark. But this issue of sufficient national importance, both in terms of U.S.'s economic and military dominance, that there'll be enough people working on it right from the top, both the government, administration, companies, and so on. There is reason to hope that this will be thought through and will be funded as we go along.
You said that a lot of these companies are using debt to finance the projects. Somebody may hear that and go, oh, well, wasn't that one of the big problems in 2008?
That's a very valid question, but there is no alarm as yet, because the two companies that are really going to big levels of debt are, one is Oracle and Meta. And Meta has a very, very strong balance sheet. They have a free cash flow of, maybe order of magnitude of the debt that they're taking. And the other company's Oracle. Oracle is not as strong as Meta in their balance sheet. However, Oracle has got a lot of partnerships. They are part of the Stargate. They are well connected with other companies, and they are very high margin companies. So not to be worried right now.
Gromer, we pay attention to this stuff because So much in politics hinges on what happens in the economy. And right now, the country and the state is putting a big bet on artificial intelligence and data centers, and we don't yet know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, it's all about the economy all the time, but you've seen it with oil, with tech, as you mentioned in your segment there. And we don't know what will happen ultimately with AI. The economy is another question, right, that we face with all of it. And of course, the answer to that question could impact us politically. It's all very interesting. The good news is, and he pointed it out, that some of the biggest, most successful companies are invested in this. It's not exactly fly-by-night outfits, right? Mm-hmm. And so at some point, we'll all figure it out. There may be some pain along the way, though.
That's all the time we have. Stay tuned for Meet the